masters of old came to Senegambia to look for manpower. We were intelligent, we were very, very articulate, and if you go to places like Georgetown, I mean, we have people who came all the way. I mean, talk about Georgetown, Maryland. If you go there, you will see African Americans of Gambian origin that came there, and you know what? They were teachers. People, great farmers in Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas, Gambians. We have what it takes to be great again. We were once a great people, and we want to be great again. And you know what? We can do it one Gambian at a time, but an aggregate, a collective. We have to be a collective. And that's why we're here, and that's why we're going to talk about investments and the Gambia. And I'll do a brief recap, but before I do that, I will acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. I will acknowledge my doyen, my resident mentor, Mr. Abdoulaye Touré. I will acknowledge a lady that's been formidable in terms of crossing the pond. When I say the pond, I'm talking about the big Atlantic from the Gambia to the shores of the US by way of Amcham, Mrs. Dayawa Khan Sise. We have a guest in our midst who wasn't here with us yesterday due to flight schedules and arrangement, but I think the conviction and commitment to Gambia led the GCAA to be here, even though they made it a day late, but they're scheduled to do their presentation today. And we have their commercial director, Mr. Chan. Thank you for coming. Thomas is our Gambian Tuba. Yes. From Sanyang, by the way. He is a Belgian from Sanyang, and Thomas last month brought into Gambia 50 companies from Belgium. I'm talking about serious companies to help in our quest to make sure that Gambia becomes what it ought to be, a great country. And the gentleman sitting on the far left is a brother, a friend, someone that has inspired many, and someone that has housed many Gambians by giving them a social security housing. And that is no other than Mr. Saul Fraser of Global Properties. Yes, I'll speak a little bit of all of Gambia Dinadem, because we have people who are not willing to not only move their weight, but move the dead weight excess of others. And Saul, thanks for your help. Gambia wants people like you, and you're a proud son of the soil. Thanks. We'll do a little recap before we get into the program, just to tell people about what happened here yesterday. It was a great evening here, and I think what we really dealt with were issues that were of concern. We had a keynote from the Honorable Minister, and it was great. He did a wonderful job. But prior to the keynote, my doyen and resident professor, the eminent Mr. Touré, gave us, a few words of wisdom, and he made mention of someone that he talks about on a daily basis, Peter Drucker. And basically, he gave us tips that should help us to really focus and reorient our minds towards the greater good for the Gambian lot. Also, we have a presentation by, how you call it again, the IT by Papa Yusuf Ajao and Mr. Malik Khan of Point Click, and very apt, very succinct, and just on point, just like Point Click. And that's the prescription Gambia needs. And I hope Innovate Gambia will be the medication to take care of the Gambian malice once and for all. Looking forward to that. And after that, I think we had a great dinner. The dinner was good. And I'm happy that we have Gambian entrepreneurs in Atlanta who are doing great things and really flying the Gambian flag high. And thanks to Mr. Jeru Toure, dinner was served and it was a great meal. Thanks for the people who prepared the meal. Tonight, we will get into the second part of the program. And this investment forum, like we said, it's a non-government initiative, and we believe the time has come for public management, that's government, to have a new paradigm, and that paradigm must be driven by PPIs, public-private initiatives. So we will never and will not wait for government to do what Gambians expect of them. We will walk hand in glove with government, and if the egg is not going to be laid by the chicken, we'll put our hand in and get the egg out as concerned citizens of the Gambia, irrespective of where we are, whether it's in North America, Europe, or at home in the Gambia. It's our responsibility, and we want to be the change we want. Therefore, we will not wait for the change to come, but we will be the change champions and change agent of what we want to see in our country. So stand up and be counted. $5,000, $10,000, $2,000. It's not small to be a startup for an investment into your piece of the pie. See, we are all Gambians. The only difference is you are diaspora Gambian, we are Gambians living in Gambia. Nonetheless, we have a common denominator, and that is to fix the country. And we cannot fix the country if we don't have a stake. The stake is called a piece of the pie. We have a piece of the pie, and now you need your piece of the pie. And once you have the piece of the pie, you have two options. You can just take your pie as is, or you can put more toppings onto it. So that's up to you, but get your piece of the pie before it's late. Because if you go to the Gambia now, we have non-nationals buying quite a lot of land. We have non-nationals opening businesses. And if we are not careful, we will go to a country where we will be serviced by non-nationals. That's not what our forefathers envisaged when they gave us a country called the Gambia. So let's make them proud by being citizens who will be counted irrespective of where we are. So I'll go ahead and invite Mr. Malik Jang of the American Chamber to come up and give us what the Chamber is and what we do. But before I invite Mr. Malik Jang, I'll just say a little show of gratitude to this hard-working gentleman. The Chamber has been around for a long time, but he has taken the Chamber from where it was to where it is. And I can see that he will not only take it there, but he will take it over the horizon. So Malik, thank you, and your work is noted, and we are very proud of your achievements in a short time. And to do 2 or 3 things that will benefit the Gambia. He came here, went to the Poultry Expo, the biggest in North America. Brought some Gambians to the Expo from the Gambia. He was able to get an agreement with Georgia State University to sign an MOU with the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of, to work on farmer extension programs. He's also been able to arrange for an MOU with Hartsfield-Jackson Airport to work with the Civil Aviation Authority, both in terms of training and possible collaborations. We all know it's very difficult to go to the Gambia, especially in the December period. We are walking through Malik with Delta and others to see how best we can have a hop away from the Gambia by way of Dakar to Delta, or maybe even fly from here. And also, An arrangement has been made through his office for us to meet with the BWI authorities, that's the Baltimore Washington International or Thurgood Marshall Airport, to see how best we can have flight arrangements to Gambia. When we say Gambia is open for business, it should no longer be a rhetoric. It should be put in action. And it's not the responsibility of government, but everyone sitting there and on this table. So Malik, thanks for your efforts, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm going to talk about the role of the American Chamber of Commerce, called AMCHAM for short. In 2010, while I was at the American Embassy in Banjul, my former boss and sister, Tashana Bethea, and I submitted a request to the State Department to fund a seminar on doing business in the Gambia, doing business with the United States, US. The project was not only approved, but the head of the Commercial and Business Affairs Office, Mr. Dennis Winstead, decided he would attend. One of the recommendations of the seminar was to set up an American Chamber of Commerce as a way of attracting US investors. AmCham was set up in 2010 with seed money from the US Embassy. Ambassador Barrios said at the opening ceremony that the chamber was meant to create confidence for US investors to invest in the Gambia and to provide a channel of business communication. In most other countries, AmChams consist of US companies. In the Gambia, which has only a few American companies, we decided to change the criteria for membership to any businesses, any companies that do business with the US or wish to do business with the US. But with the interest that we have seen here over yesterday and today, with so many of you wishing to join AmCham, that will change the character and raise the profile of AmCham the Gambia. Even with the limited resources at our disposal, we are trying to fulfill the aspirations of our members. We take our members to several expos in the US, aimed at exposing them to US technology and to help them network with US manufacturers and possible investors. We have institutionalized several expos which are promoted by the US Department of Commerce. These include: 1, the World of Concrete in Las Vegas for builders and contractors, the International Production and Processing Expo, or the Poultry, Meat and Feed Expo, held annually here in Atlanta. 3, the Fancy Food Show for food processors, which is held in New York, taking place back-to-back with International Franchise Expo, also in New York. 4, the Process Expo, formerly called Pack Expo, which is for food processing and packaging, which takes place in Chicago. In addition to that, this year, we are working on the possible twin of Dufure and Henning, Henning being the birthplace of Alex Haley. We are in touch with the mayor of Lauderdale County in Tennessee and the Alex Haley Museum in Henning. I want to talk about, for those of you who are interested in joining AmCham, we have a number of categories. The first one is top partners. And we also have corporate platinum members. We have platinum member and gold members. They have various, the registration fees for these vary. For those of you in the US, for a gold member, it's $100. for the platinum member is 150. For corporate platinum is 2,000, and for top partners is 2,500. Those of you who are interested can talk to our treasurer. Per annum, these are fees per annum. Those of you who are interested can talk to our treasurer, Mrs. Safi Job, at the back of the hall. We have brought registration forms that you can complete and become members as from next week. If you're asking, okay, you might ask, what can AmCham do for you? For those of you in the US, we provide various facilitation services. One, we can assist you to register businesses in the Gambia. We can assist in opening bank accounts, assist with clearance of goods at customs, assist with and guidance in property acquisition, assistance with passport renewals and other documents required from government, assistance and guidance on trade and investment, and we also hope to produce AmCham membership cards for discounts in selected hotels and businesses in the Gambia. I hope these are very attractive incentives that will encourage most of you, all of you, to join AmCham. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Malik Jeng. You never fail to really amaze me, and I've been around and I've seen what you have done, and a big thank you to you. Second on the agenda, we'll have Thomas Buell. Like I said, Thomas is interested in investments into the Gambia, but his efforts were mostly concentrated in Western Europe, particularly Belgium. And to the point, he worked with the Gambia Embassy, or High Commission, whatever it's called, in Belgium. And he was able to come with a delegation of over 50 Belgian companies, big companies. And this just happened less than 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it was a successful mission, and I think great things will emanate out of that mission. When he heard we were coming to the US, he paid for himself to come here and see what we're doing, because he wants to see what we can do. So he's just here basically to see what we're doing. So we will allow him to talk to our esteemed diasporans, and maybe not only in North America, he may be able to link anyone who's interested in doing something with possible collaborators in Belgium and other parts of Western Europe. So Thomas, the floor is yours, but we'll also acknowledge someone who's here to support the Gambia, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, where are you? Just wave us a hand. Thank you, and we need people. We need people who believe in the cause that Gambia is trying to achieve, and thanks for your efforts, and thanks for being a patron of the country we all love called the Gambia. So Thomas, the floor is all yours.
Yes. Mr. Yan, thank you for the introduction. I don't think I have to introduce myself more, but I will give a brief introduction of what our company does. So we are a Belgian consultancy company by the name of CNM, stands for Corporate and Management. And together with a law firm, we have set up a Gambia desk that is run by a Gambian attorney. And what we do is we assist companies who want to invest or do business in the Gambia. And we had a private trade mission last year in November to the Gambia with some Belgian companies. And then we had the trade mission to the Gambia in January that Mr. Nyang was referring to. So our partners are the Chamber of Commerce in Belgium, also the Chamber of Commerce in Gambia, also Foreign Affairs in Belgium. We work very closely with them to let them know what's going on in Gambia politically, but also economically. And then we work together with the Gambian Honorary Consul in Germany, the Gambian Embassy in Brussels, and also France, and of course our partners that are present today. So the reason that I'm here today is that we always reach out to the Gambian community where we focus on. In Belgium, we had some seminars on the New Gambia that we organized to let Gambians really know what are the new business opportunities in the New Gambia, as we say it. So we are convinced that it's key to engage the Gambian community, the Gambian diaspora, on the business opportunities in the New Gambia in order to have sustainable development. Because when we go to Gambia with companies, we always encourage them to have joint ventures with Gambians because they know their country. We always inform our network on the companies that we bring to the Gambia to see how they can partner up with the companies that we bring. So to conclude, our experience in the Gambia has been very vast and thorough. We work very closely with GAIPA, with the Chamber of Commerce. So I would just point out that if you have any questions after the seminar, you can always contact us and feel free to talk to us. Thank you.
Thanks once again, Thomas, and it's a great job. Anyway, third on the agenda, we have the functions of Sahel Invest Management International and the Wise Knowledge Campus. See, at the Wise Knowledge Campus, it's not only about academics, it's about real life experiences. And we're fortunate to have a doyen on our campus, and is in the person of Mr. Abdoulaye Touré. There are certain things I haven't been taught at any Ivy League school or any classroom in a university. I got to learn the ropes from this gentleman. So, Mr. Touré, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture, President of AmCham, members of the High Table, distinguished and eminent personalities, I must say that we are humbled that you have taken your time from your very busy schedules to be here with us on 2 consecutive days. We are grateful for the hospitality extended to us by the Atlantans, as we call them, and also more especially for those that have traveled far and wide to come and grace this occasion. Yesterday I mentioned Ambassador Bogarsi, Papa Yusuf Jau, Malik Khan and team. And today, a young gentleman just approached me and said, I am Mr. Jallo and I just flew in from California. Can we recognize him, please? Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Our eminent moderator also mentioned a very distinguished gentleman who is amongst us. He is no other than a friend of ours who is a Gambian, like Mr. Thomas, but he has more experience and more exposure than Gambia than Mr. Thomas. Mr. Brown is married to our very own sister, Yase Jen Brown, who unfortunately is not here, but Mr. Brown is representing both of them. Can we give him a round of applause? Can we recognize him and acknowledge him? The other eminent personalities are all here. Now, as Mr. Njai said, we are on a mission. And the mission is dictated by 3 variables.
The first variable is that some of you will recall that the United States had a change of orientation, and that orientation was derived from a very simple question that was asked, and that was by John Fitzgerald Kennedy, when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." And that has been our mission. But in addition to that, Thomas Roosevelt said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." Do what you can with what you have where you are. Now, when I'm in Atlanta, I cannot but make reference to the Reverend Martin Luther King. And in making reference to Martin Luther King, I'm always reminded of two quotations that he made. One was, "I have a dream that we will get to the mountaintop. I might not get there with you, but we will get to the mountaintop." That was in 1965. I think Barack Obama was barely 5 years old when that statement was made. In 2008, Barack Obama got to the White House, and he said, "I am at the mountaintop, and my inspiration was derived from a statement made by Martin Luther King." And Martin Luther said, "I have a dream," and Barack Obama said, "I am the dream."
Yes, sir.
He said, "I am the dream." So our mission at Sahel is to say that we have a dream that one day Gambia will become a highly developed country. It will become a highly developed country. It will not happen in Honorable OJ's lifetime, in our country's lifetime, unless they start drinking a lot of moringa and baobab juice. Because we were invited to lunch, and I had the fortune and honor of sitting with some very elegant, I always say elegant. If you are a woman and you are elegant and you are intelligent, elegance plus intelligence equals excellence. So we had a very sumptuous dinner, and these ladies gave me a crash course on what it means to be at your best, so that you can stop being a wheel. And the recipe was drink a lot of baobab. That's been established beyond doubt, and my lady friends are here, they can confirm that baobab has 25% more vitamin C than orange juice. And baobab is not in the United States. It comes from Gambia and Senegal and Africa and some parts of Asia. So before you spend money drinking orange juice, drink baobab.
Correct.
The other food that you need to drink and portrayed in Dali's masterpiece on new tourism is the baobab, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the other one that we discussed, my friend is here, is the moringa. Moringa, Mr. Javan is mistakenly said he knows it better than I do. It's referred to as the miracle
Drink.
miracle tree. And all you need is the powder or the seed. And my sister will tell you that if you are addicted to moringa and baobab, like her grandparents were, they lived the ripe old age of 117. So stop drinking soda water and start drinking moringa and baobab.
Correct.
Now the third one is what we call Findi. Findo. Now if you go to TikTok you will see a very highly renowned chef in the United States from Senegambia called Per Cham. And you all know that in the United States, a cereal called quinoa from Mexico is very popular. And it was classified as a superfood. Now this gentleman said, if fino is a superfood, then Findi is a superfood. And we have been able to put that in most of the restaurants in the United States. And where does Findi come from? Those of you that are Fanafanas who will know, you'll know about chere and boom.
Yes.
If you eat chere and boom,
I love it.
if you eat chere and boom, you'll be very strong, and it's also deemed to be an aphrodisiac. So the more of it you drink, the better off you are. So I have given you 3 fruits that you need to be concerned about, and they only come from our part of the world. So we are blessed. Now, what do? We are trying to encourage and inspire you. And the second thing that Manager King said was intelligence plus character is the true goal of education. I was telling you, Fajau, that I was inspired by his dad. As I said yesterday, I was a wise kid amongst wise men. When we came, we had the O.J. Javas, the Sirif Sekuba Cises, the Sarajan has the Jebes Landis, the Tom Sengos. And these people showed us what life was. Okay, and they took us under their arms. Now, when I was at Marina, I was very young, maybe 30 years old.
That's not
And
very
guess
young.
who I had on my board? I was German. Can you imagine? But I had Charles Chow as a board member. I had Matthew Lu as a board member. I had Steve Jane as a board member. So can you imagine how intimidating that could be? But they took me into their arms. And I remember when we had a street day, we invited Dr. Bidwell. Most of you will probably know him. And he came and he gave the students a lecture. And I only have 3 takeaways from that lecture. He said, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, everything is lost.
Correct.
So whatever you do, make sure that your character, your integrity is sacrosanct. Do not sabotage it.
Absolutely. Very true.
So going forward, as Daddy said, we are here and we are really humble and grateful that Honorable O.J. Jallow, who is as young as he was 40 years
Years
ago.
ago. Correct. That's true.
That was confirmed by Okiki. Forever young, forever young old man. Now, what we are saying, we came with a formidable team, my good friend by Jabang, Marina, and others. We have GCCA here, we have Saul Fraser, we have all you eminent persons. What we are saying is that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
Correct.
And we are saying that Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And whatever happens, do not compromise your integrity and your character. And one of the things I was telling Okiki was that when I went back from the U.S., I became the Secretary General of the Basketball Association. And at that time, without any fear of contradiction, Gambia won the Zone 2 basketball tournament between Senegal, Mali, Guinea-Conakry, you name it, both male and female.
Correct.
At that time, in football, Gambia was ranked among the best.
Sure.
You heard of Biri Biri, the legendary Biri Biri. You go to Seville in Spain, there is a pavilion called Biri Biri.
Yep.
All the years are named after Biri Biri. But the unfortunate part we have in Gambia is that we don't celebrate our own.
That's true.
And
Absolutely.
we need to change that mindset and celebrate our own.
Very true.
That's why yesterday I showed Viola Davis. If you look at the story of Viola Davis, she came from a very, very poor background and had difficulty in accessing food. And when she got to the podium, she became the best actress from the film Fences. And she said, I needed to go on a cultural pilgrimage. And she went, her cultural pilgrimage took her to Gambia. And that was the movie, that was the tribute that was showed yesterday. And I'm happy that Daddy did that presentation. We also know that Alex Haley visited Gambia in 1969 with Ibu Manga of blessed memory. I always ask Americans, there are what is the common denominator that is in common with President Clinton, Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Barack Obama? And they will say, what do you mean? I say, what do they have in common? They wouldn't know the answer. And I said, all three of them visited Jufure Island in Senegal. All three visited Jufure Island and went to the slave house in Jufure Island. And Jufure Island, the roots saga, started in Gambia at Jufure by Alex Haley. We did not capitalize on it. Now the Senegalese, who are our natural brothers and sisters, said roots begins in Dubai. So all the Americans go to Dubai and don't extend to Jufure. So if you don't sell yourself, nobody will sell you.
Absolutely.
So that is why we want to reinvent our heritage and look at Viola Davis. The other gentleman we had, all of you that saw Roots, will recall a very formidable character called Chicken George. Who was Chicken George? Daddy. Who played the role of Chicken George in the movie Roots?
That's the person.
No. Lava Bottom. Ben Parin, sorry, Ben Parin. Ben Parin played that role. And he came to Gambia to visit. And Amcham, Madam Safi, arranged for us to have dinner with him at the Coco Ocean. And when he came, he told us that every year, Oprah Winfrey hosts a reunion of all the cast members of the movie Roots. She does that every year. And we said, this is going to be the 40th anniversary of the Roots film. Can we get you to come to Gambia? And he discussed with Safi, and we did a letter to Oprah Winfrey. And all Oprah Winfrey needed at the time was the endorsement of the former governor, the Minister of Tourism, and that never happened. Missed opportunity. Can you imagine what would have happened if the whole homecoming of the Roots cast was held in Gambia on the occasion of the 40th anniversary of Roots? Missed opportunity. The reason we are in the United States, it's not that the United States is flowing with milk and honey, but it is a land of opportunity. I have a colleague friend of mine. He calls me a Morehouse uncle. Mr. Modulamin Drame Soap, can you stand up? Now the reason I'm asking him to stand is not that only that he's from Morehouse, because we celebrate our own. But when you go to Morehouse, you are taught that you should have what is called the 5 words WELS, WELL. One, you should be well read. Two, you should be well spoken. Three, you should be well dressed. Four, you should be well traveled. But most importantly, you should be well mannered.
Yeah.
Now, why am I calling on Lamin Drame? So, because we have two Lamin Drame. And these guys were student athletes. He attended at least 2 or 3 Olympic Games. He's an Olympian. All of us are interested in sports, but we know that the shortest career you can have is as a sportsman. So what happens after the sporting career? So we advise him that in America, regardless of how good you are in sports, you don't have the academics, my friend, you don't play ball. We got him, he came to Morehouse. We just got 2 others that have just graduated from Morehouse. Yes, was the other guy? Swai Usane and Susok just graduated. So what we were telling them was, you have to combine academics with academics, sports with academics. And that's what they have done. But the dilemma we have now, you come to Gambia, most of the people that are in sports are not interested in academics. Those in academics are not interested in sports. So you are not a holistic human being. OJ is a founder member. In fact, he founded Kwame Football Club. And as Mr. Tiller was working in today, he said that was a very good footballer. But if Mr. Tiller was to stand up now, he probably will need a 5-hour drink. Likewise, my good sister Okiki also plays sports, and now she is very well renowned in the medical field. And that is what we are trying to promote with the young ones. So the initiative we have at Sahel, we have taken this building, and the whole idea is that it's seen as an incubator center. So if you come to Gambia and you want to set up shop, you need a small cubicle office space. We bring you in, and we give you a cubicle. And the terms of using the cubicle is very simple. Do what you are passionate at. If you have a passion for something, follow that passion. We give you a cubicle and you say, okay, go and use this. And they will turn around and say, what is the rent? You say, well, the terms are simple. We give it to you for 3 months. You say, what are the terms? And you say, it's payable when able. Payable when able for 3 months.
I want one. That's nice.
Now, after 3 months, if you don't pay rent, then what you were thinking of doing, you have not put in enough hours, and then we say, here is the exit door, move on. If you are able to do it, to stay on board, then we give you the whole office with American standard, because we have Ladija in the house and Safi. So it will be as good a house, as good an office as people find if you want to visit one of Gambia's most eminent accountants in the U.S., Mr. Salom Yaya. You'll have the wooden floor, the espresso machine, and the slim TV, Wi-Fi, internet, Innovate Gambia computers, the whole world. Not so that he can confirm. So once you decide to stay, then we say, okay, all you need to do is for the office, $1,000 for the whole year. And that is why we have, all of these people coming in. But in conclusion, what are we saying? We are saying that the only person you control in this world is yourself. I was telling the people at lunch. Only person you control in this world is yourself. With your wife, you have to cajole and coax her. You have to try to be romantic. The kids likewise. For me, if that says, Mr. Tony, speak, I decide not to speak, I say, I'm not speaking. He's not going to beat me up, is he? So the only person you control is yourself. And as an entrepreneur, we don't see obstacles. We see opportunities. And that is why everybody is attracted to the United States. But what is interesting in the United States is that if every year, most of the Nobel Prizes are won by Americans, but they are hardly native-born Americans. And that is where Donald Trump is getting it all wrong. That's where he is getting it wrong. And if he makes the mistake and put a wall in Mexico, and Africa decides to put a wall around Africa, America will go out of business.
I'm telling you. That is a fact. Yeah.
That is a fact. All the resources in the world are in Africa. Hillary Clinton visited Nigeria, and he told the Senate, Africa is too rich to be poor. Africa is too rich to be poor. And my Nigerian friends, one of the Nigerian senators looked at her and said, go and mind your business. Africa is too rich to be poor. Gambia is too rich not to be developed. I end with a very short story and very, very interesting. A gentleman was married to a very elegant lady from another country. And during this period, the lady was exposed to a lot of Gambians over a period of 15 years. And one fine day, she decided, darling, I want to visit Gambia. He said, well, we can go on holidays. She came to Gambia and said, you know, I have a question that I have to ask. I hope you don't mind. And the husband said, no, you are my darling, you can ask whatever you want.
Oh.
He said, in the 15 years that I have been married to you, I have met a lot of Gambians. And they are trailblazers, they are trendsetters, and they are some of the best that I have seen in terms of humility, in terms of intelligence, in terms of decorum, in terms of attitude. Say, well, darling, what is your paradox? So the paradox is, how come Gambians are more developed than their country? How come Gambians are more developed than their country?
Good question.
Madam President will tell you, if you have visitors now from the U.S., and they come in and say, if you want to visit, and this is a true story, we had visitors from Lions Club. They came in, they had a very good meeting, and they said, can you take us to the capital? No, serious. Can you take us to the capital of Banjul? We decided to drive them to Burfur Garden. I couldn't go to just Banjul. Actually, you know, and say, this is my capital. So, that is the narrative you want to change. And that narrative cannot be changed by government. It has to be changed by us. And how do we want to change it? OJ knows it better than I do. During the trade season, we used to have traders from Banjul in all the villages in the country. And they were called Teletans. Papanduro was one of them. These were Teletans. They used to go, and that was why most of the people that were in the up-country, at the time there was no high school. So when you finish primary school, you will come and live with the major trader that was in your hometown. True. Okay? And that's how education was able to go across the country. Throughout. Now what we are saying with this project of Mr. Java, my friend Morena and others, they have a project that is saying, we will give you grant money, free money, to invest in agriculture. So what are we saying? My brother Martin King says, when you go into Morehouse, the first question they ask you, what have you done for others? What have you done for others? For me, to educate my children It's not inspiration. To motivate my children, to motivate your children to success is an obligation. It's like the 5 pillars of Islam. It's an obligation. To inspire somebody else to achieve their potential is inspiration. That was why yesterday all of us were very emotional when Malik Khan stood here and said, I was homeless in Atlanta, but thanks to Salum Jai and Abdullah Jai, they gave me shelter. So Malik, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you moved from being homeless to being a super accomplished human being. Note that I did not say he moved from being homeless to being a millionaire, even though he's a millionaire. I didn't say that. I said he moved from being homeless to being an accomplished human being. Because to be accomplished, the attribute that you need is to be selfless. Is to be selfless. If you look at political systems, economic systems, Africa had communalism. Yes. Then for whatever reason, we left communalism and we were told, go to communism, go to socialism, and now go to capitalism. And what is more unjust than to say that 6 people own more wealth than 3.6 billion people combined? That's capitalism. 6 people own more wealth than 3.5 billion people combined. Well, what is communism? Communism, the first law of nature is self-preservation. It's the first law of nature. What is self? Sustainable economic livelihood family. You all want to bring bacon to the table for your family to have food to eat. Okay? Then you move from self to selfish. Selfish, self, sustainable economic livelihood family. ISH, individual sustainable household. So you extend your sustainable, let me make my sister and brother sustainable. Then you move to selfless. Selfless, sustainable economic livelihood family. Economic sustainable societies. So all of us hail from a village. What if we tell you, we can do a project? Gambia has 200 million coming from all of you. But what are you doing? As the Chinese say, give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. Teach him to fish, you feed him for life. The Chinese also have a saying, if you want to feed your people for 1 year, teach them to grow rice. If you want to feed them for 10 years, teach them how to grow trees. If you want to feed them for a lifetime, give them education. And it's never too late to learn. So what we are saying in conclusion, I know that he wants me to give him the mic. What we are saying in conclusion, we have solutions. And OJ and his team are here. If you are going to invest $1,000, they will give you $400 free. You put in $600. So I can challenge my global ambassador Bokas. You do a processing center in Kuntaya. Do a processing center in Kuntaya. And we've done this. Bai can confirm, OJ can confirm. We've done this with Suleiman Book. We did a project document for him. The total equipment he needed was $2 million. That's like $15,000. This gentleman gave him $12,000, which was about $1 million or thereabouts. Now we have a processing center. We take the drudgery out of farming. So you invest one of, say, hypothetically 500. By gives you, with the commission of OJ, of course, because he cannot give you unless OJ gives. He gives you 500. So we have a tripartite arrangement. We have a processing center in Kuntaya, owned by Bokasi. He puts in $300. OJ puts in free $400. Okay, every month, the women in Kuntaya will come and process their kus, their rice, their fili, or whatever it is. And we have an account that says everything that comes in terms of revenue, 33% goes to an ESCO account owned by SROCA. The employee gets 33% and the community gets 33%. What does that do? What does that do? Next time the phone rings and it has a plus 22220, you will not say, hey, they're asking for money again. Because now you have told them how to sustain themselves. And when you're coming to Banjul, you don't have to withdraw using your black card from Tajo to make some withdrawals to come and spend. When you come at the end of the month, that amount will have grown to give you expense money in Banjul to spend. So that is what we are looking to do with you, and that is why we are very extremely happy that OJ is here with his team. Give us your project ideas, and we'll give you solutions. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, my eminent resident professor at Wise Knowledge Campus. See, knowledge is priceless. And in Gambia, knowledge dafa tumuranke. Because people who don't know and are not in the position to do what's good for the greater good tend to believe they know everything. And that's why our country is just going through a whirlwind. It's just going in circles, but it's not going anywhere. And I hope that will change and start changing now. Anyway, going forward, Mr. Toure made great remarks, and like he rightly said, at Knowledge Wise Campus, we do a lot, and we quietly do a lot, and we tend to be involved in life-changing experiences to make the Gambian lot a better people. We work with the youths because we believe they're the most, they bear the brunt of our social ills, and society has neglected the youth unless it's time for politics, and they go to them, unfortunately. That has been the case in the Gambia. The youth of the Gambia is used as a political tool as and when the political season, is around. Other than that, they're a misnomer. Nobody cares, because that's why 80% of people who are between the ages of 18 and 34 in the Gambia are unemployed. That's why 80% of Gambian youths don't pass school leaving exams. That's why 96% of Gambian youths fail the learning. So basically, they go through school, but school hasn't gone through them. And that needs to change, and it needs to change now. We are here to talk about investment once more, and we have to understand the power of the diaspora. See, a voice, if it's not organized, is meaningless. The sum total of the Gambians we call the diaspora can be the game changer in Gambia in all aspects of life, from the economic, social, and the political. But it needs organization. And when I say organization, I'm not talking about CAFOs and people coming together. A systemic change headed towards a direction, a unity of purpose. It has to be meaningful. Because you go to Gambia now, what's sprawling in Gambia? Western Unions, Bureau de Change, Wari, it's all over. Payment systems are all over. $200 million coming to the economy. And what have you benefited out of it? Nothing. because it hasn't been put in productive use. And that's why AmCham and us from the WISE campus, we're here. We want to change that narrative, one Gambian at a time, one community at a time. And that's why we're in Atlanta today. Agriculture is the key driver to changing Gambia and ushering new Gambia. Why? We need to eat. Without food, we will cease to exist. But unfortunately, the country we all call home, all of us, he drives past traffic light, Honorable Minister, you just turn around on the left, cabbage, charay, carrots, wagunyai, batanse, somewhere else. Nothing coming out of Gambia. You go to Kairaba Hotel, Coco Ocean, orange juice, Don Simon, Spain. Mango juice, Don Simon, Spain. What are we good for? What are we good at? Nothing. Why? Because we lack initiatives. Why? Because we lack foresight. Why? Because we're indifferent to our plight. That has to stop. We have to be the change makers that will take Gambia to the next level. Or you know what? Let's zip. We talk a lot. The amount of bites we put on social media on a daily basis. If we just start putting those to action, trust me, we will have containers about to Banjo, and we will create employment in Banjo. So, the fight is not for intellectual supremacy, it's not a fight for political visibility, it's a fight for economic survival. That's what Gambians at home want. And that's what Gambians at home expect from the ones who had an opportunity to go out, have a better livelihood, come back and make an impact. We want impactful citizenry. Citizens who can make a difference in the livelihoods of people. I drive into the hinterland of Gambia, and trust me, it's appalling. Poverty is life in Gambia. Mr. Toure made mention of capitalism and how 6, 7 people control the wealth. Well, last summer, a French economist by the name of Thomas Piketty wrote a damning report about the wall and income inequality. But guess what? It's not just the fault of the West, it's the fault of some of us, including myself. So let's start looking inward, and when we look inward, we can be the change. When we are the change, we can give the average Gambian. Everyone sitting here, we are not the average Gambian. So we are not the benchmark for what an average Gambian is. And I do live in the Gambia, and I know how the average Gambian lives. It's not dignified. And it's our collective responsibility to extend an arm to those brothers and sisters. But the best way to do it is not to give handouts, because handouts take dignity away from people. Let's give them opportunities. And these opportunities can be created by $500, $1,000 that you can use as an investor and make that a seed capital. You go to the combos. The women want collectively. They lack boreholes. So in your communities, you can be that investor, social entrepreneur. That's what social entrepreneurship is all about. Bring your $2,000 into Tujaran. Help fence a patch. 20 women walking there will end up having tuition for their kids instead of those kids staying home. And you can be counted better than being on the keyboard and PlayStation. Mr. Toure and I and my team, or our team, left Gambia to come here, and thanks also to the government to answer to this clarion call of trying to revive Gambia. And you know what? We are not here because we have big dreams. We're here because we have practical opportunities, practical things that are tangible, things that are possible, things that are doable. But you know what we need? Able, convicted, and convinced bodies who want to be the change our country needs. Gambia is bleeding, my friends. And the bleeding must stop. And the way it will stop is for us to at least be that change. Maybe most of you, some people are going to Gambia now since the demise of the brutal brute. But anyway, it's time we help the people on the ground. And the way we can help them is to give them opportunities. Don't think your $500 is too small to start the change. Because if you help one village, you have helped Gambia. So let's start helping hamlets, move on to villages, then to towns, and maybe we can help Gambia after a while. But the journey must start now, and that's why we're here. If we leave this hall, and we only have 2, 3 potential investors, I can go back home a happy man. And I don't care whether your investment is just $1,000. I know one child in Banjo will go to school because his or her parents will pay tuition out of their hard-earned sweat. I know food will be put on at least one table in Gambia. That's what we need, and that's why we're here. So this is an appeal for us to really, really see how best we can change the situation of the majority of Gambians. Don't worry what you see on Facebook, even my Facebook, what you see there, what you see on Gambian TV, in Gambian social media, that's not the real Gambia. I live in Gambia, but I don't live in the real Gambia. We are not doing good. We are a battered woman. Gambia is a battered mother. And you know what? She needs help. Please, be the help your country needs. All right, so now going forward in the program, I think what we'll do now, air transportation. Like I said, all of you have a problem going home, and sometimes you pay way too much to go home.
Yes. $2,000.
I am a Gambian.
To go this December.
I'm not happy that sometimes accessing my country is like getting out of jail. Seriously, I mean, you go online trying to buy a ticket to go to Gambia, sometimes you have to go to Moscow just to get to Banjo. It's not called for. And I think first, it starts with policy, and the policy is transport infrastructure is not a cow to be milked, but an infrastructure to allow other economic activities to thrive. So competitive and comparative advantages should always be in the hearts and minds of those policymakers to make sure that our airport is easily accessible, and also it's competitive and it has cutting-edge facilities. We live in a world of global competition. On that note, I will invite the commercial director of GCAA, Mr. Chan, to come aboard and give us an overview about what they're doing, what they plan on doing, especially in recent times that Senegal has upped the game and upped the ante in terms of coming up with an ultra-modern infrastructure that will even rival an Ohio or dollars. So, thank you so much, Mr. Chan.
The President, American Chamber of Commerce, the Chairman, Sahel Investment, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would also like to acknowledge my colleague here, Mr. Suleiman Jamir, who is with me, who is with me from the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority at Banjul International Airport. I know when you talk about direct link, it's everybody's concern because myself, it took me a long time to get to Atlanta yesterday. I mean, traveling in Africa is normally a nightmare going over from one country to another, and there is no exception to Gambia. But what I would do in my presentation is I would first give an overview of Gambia Civil Aviation Authority and tell the airlines that operate into Banjul today, and what we're doing as an airport authority in making Banjul a hub. Because we have to have a hub in order to be able to have a direct flight. And what are the challenges that for us to become to help in the region? And GCA is established as a public enterprise in 1991 under the Public Enterprise Act of 1989 and replaced defined as Department of Civil Aviation. Our function for mandate is to regulate the air transport industry, to promote air navigation services, and to manage and operate Banjul International Airport. Our vision is to foster a safe, secure, efficient, effective, friendly, and aviation industry in the sub-region. Our mission is to provide the best airport and air navigational facilities in the sub-region and regulate air transport to international standards while generating a reasonable return on investment. And currently, the airline that we have in Gambia that operates to Banjul consists of a Brussels Airlines, which flies to Brussels, Banjul, Dakar. And we have two airlines, Amsterdam, Banjul. Vueling flies from Banjul to Barcelona. We have a Binta Canary, which flies to Tenerife. And we have Royal Air Maroc, which flies to Casablanca, Banjul, via Bissau. And then we have Fly Mid Africa. It goes to Dakar, Freetown, Accra, and Lagos. Fly Mid Africa is a home-based carrier. And we have recently have an airpiece in Nigeria that started operations on 19th of February 2018. And other flights consist of Gambia Experience. We have a Thomas Cook Airlines that goes to London Gatwick, Manchester, Birmingham, and Scandinavia. And we have a Transavia airline that goes to Amsterdam, Banjul, and also London Airlines goes to Amsterdam, Banjul as well. And the statistics so far for the past few years, in 2015, the number of passengers that came into Banjul total 105,021 passengers, and the passengers that goes out of Banjul was 104,870. Total number of passengers in 2015 was 409,891 passengers. The reason of the drop in passengers in 2015 was as a result of the Ebola epidemic in the sub-region. As a result of the drop of passengers in 2015. And in 2016, the number of passengers that we had in the Gambia was 132,000 came in, and 136,636 number of passengers out. That came to a total of 269,624,000 passengers. And in 2017, the total number of passengers came to 324,499 passengers. It was slightly a little bit more than 2016. Actually, in 2016, we could have got more passengers. It was not the problem of the political impasse that we had encountered. And now I'm coming to the issue of having a direct link from Banjul to the Gambia. Sorry, from Banjul to the United States for the matter. I mean, like I said earlier, it is really a challenge for Gambia to be able to attract some airlines flying into the Gambia on the direct flight from, say, from New York to Banjul or from Atlanta to Banjul. The reason is because of the fact that the airlines normally they operate on a volume basis. And it comes to the fact that Gambia has a very small market, and that's difficult for an airline to operate directly to the country. I remember in the year 2006, when we had an American airline that was flying from Baltimore to Banjul. They had to stop for the simple reason that they were not having enough passenger loads to fly out from Banjul to Washington. So So as a result, they have this separation. And recently, myself and my colleague, when we went to the American Embassy for an interview, I mean, we had the opportunity to see those that are still in their passport in Williams. And guess what, on that very day, like on Tuesday, I mean, all these 7 people that were ahead of us, they were all denied visa. So that's the problem, because obviously those people are applying for visas. Those are potential passengers that will fly from Banjul directly into the United States. But nonetheless, that's still another excuse for the Gambia to try to be able to have a direct flight link between the Gambia and Banjul. This is what we think of the airport or civil aviation authority. For a country to develop a direct link in most cases, it is important to have a home-based carrier. Home-based carrier means that you have an airline that will be domiciled in your country and will have an opportunity to pick passengers from different destinations, bring them to your country, and the big carriers will come there to pick them. Say in Ghana, have like a home-based carrier that flies to Ghana, it flies to Belgium, Dakar, Burkina Faso. What they will do is they will bring passengers to Banjul, and when Delta comes there, they should be able to pick passengers from there directly to Atlanta. And recently, we don't have any home-based carrier as such that we could say is Gambia owned. We have one in the Gambia, it's flying in Africa. We call it like a home-based carrier, but it's not a national carrier. And in the past years, what the case was when this home-based carrier is found, they operate for a few years, we don't see them in the country anymore. Like we have the software, the Gambia, and now we have Mid Africa that is as a matter of fact, Mid Africa now is gone on a technical mission for the past 3 years even on the ground. So that is the reason why, as a civil aviation authority, we have to tell the government that the government has to invest in aviation. That is to help the Gambia to have a flight that belongs to us as Gambia. In that way, they will use a connectivity from one destination to the Gambia. And I'm sure the Honorable Minister here will support our cause when they go to Cabinet for Gambia to have his own flight. Having like a home-based carriers, it will increase activity to your world, and it will be a feeder for major global region airlines. Just like I said earlier, if you have an airline at home, it will serve as a feeder from one country to the Gambia to develop it as a whole. And at the same time, Gambia Civil Aviation Authority now, we are trying to see if Banjul and Dakar could be used, could be domesticated, meaning that it's a lot of people that are flying between Banjul and Dakar. And when we domesticate the route, it will ease up air transport between two regions. And again, what that means is a lot of people will be able to move from Senegal to come to Gambia, and they will take a flight from Banjul to fly out to several destinations. And this is a challenge today for us at Gambia. I remember that discussions are still on with Senegal authority to see how best we could domesticate Banjul Dakar. What this means is that the taxes that are levied on tickets will be reduced so as to be able to make it easy for Gambians and Senegalese people to travel between two nations. But then again, when this happens, it means we'll have a lot more inflow of passengers coming to Banjul, and it will support the hub concept that we are advocating for. And again, in pursuance of our dream of making Banjul a hub, we encourage international legacy carriers. And that is to say, we want to encourage airlines that are very reputable, like such as now we see business airlines coming to the Gambia. We look at the Delta Airlines, we look at South African Airlines, and to the point that we do what we grant them a fifth freedom just to be able to attract them to come to Gambia. Fifth freedom right means that an airline of a foreign country coming to do business in your country is allowed to take passengers in your destination to another destination. No way in aviation is not allowed in most programs, in most cases, but as a small market and encouraging our whole vision, we want to make sure that people travel within the boundaries to several destinations. And we still maintain our LPD status in the United States, LPD meaning last point of departure status in the United States. So up till today, flights can depart from Gambia directly to America because we got our status to make sure that we still maintain our security status for airlines in the United States. And a major reason to this is because the rising number of diaspora are free to travel to the Gambia. And to support the whole concept, the thing about the night flights, we have to be ready for infrastructure development. What we did so far is we did an overlay of the roadway, we did an upgrade of airfield ground lighting, the apron and taxiways expansion, new instrument landing system, new automatic weather station, terminal building and control tower rehabilitation, new fire and rescue station. It may sound a little bit technical to you, but basically in aviation, some of this means that the equipment that are used in aviation are so expensive and it's difficult to maintain them. But we've really done so well to get all these things in the airport to attract major carriers to Gambia. And also for your information, there is a new modern cargo complex that was inaugurated in Gambia on the 19th of February for the Gambia International Airlines. And obviously aviation can only go with passengers, but number of cargo that also goes to the contract. Like my colleague said, the ceremony said that you could be able to send containers, but at the same time also you can send by air, because we have a cargo complex to keep something that you can send to the Gambia. And I want to go to the last part of my presentation, and I believe this is an investment forum. And when we look at the investment in the Gambia, it doesn't necessarily mean only in the States. Airports today are built as shopping malls. And if most of you who travel all over the world, anywhere you go, you find out that everything that passengers need are made in the airport. So as a result of this, Gambia National Airport is requesting from individuals, companies who are interested in investing in the Gambia. And I want to assure you that the investment incentives are huge. The land that we have, and when we give you the line, the terms and conditions are very favorable for you to come and do business in the airport. And one thing that we believe in is that we need an airport hotel. Right now, when passengers arrive in Banjul, if there is a delay or they want to spend some few moments in the airport, they have to go to other hotels that are far from the airport. So if you're able to invest in the airport hotel, it gives you the chance to be able to have passengers that will be residing in the hotel. And again, we also looking for investors and having a shopping mall. We can make a shopping mall that is comparable to shopping malls that you have in the Western world. And we believe it will give opportunity to many people in the region to come to Gambia to do their shopping. Instead of flying all the way to Dubai or flying to any other country, why not come to Gambia and do your shopping? But the question is, who wants to invest in a shopping mall? We have a huge line size, so you are welcome to invest with us. And again, we're looking for those investing in a daycare, recreational center, supermarket, bars and restaurants, car rental service, and banks as well. The reason being, in an airport environment, we have over 2,000 people working in the airport. That means anybody who builds a supermarket, you are assured of the customer base. And just to conclude my presentation, I want to take this opportunity to find out more about investing in Banjul International Airport. And you can send all the inquiries to Office of the Director General of Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, or you can contact me here after the meeting, and I can tell you what to do to invest at Banjul International Airport. And the last point I want to raise here is the challenges and constraints that we have in terms of developing Banjul as a hub. As an airport, we process less than 0.5 million passengers. Sorry, less than 0.5 million passengers. That means you need to have 500,000 passengers as an airport before you can break even. So any airport that operates below that will find it very difficult to be profitable. And whilst you are having this low number of passengers, you are still obliged to be able to keep up with the international standards. Be it Gatwick, be it Hartwell, or the Newark Airport, everything that an airport should do must be done also as an airport to stay abreast of the beach industry. So this low number of passengers is a concern to us, and we work hard to make sure we have the problem being accomplished. And again, the economic situation also is a concern to us. I think the previous speaker talked about how unemployment is rising in Gambia, and a lot of people in the country cannot afford to buy tickets to go to various destinations. And where does that leave us? It's like something and they cannot be filled by passengers by joy. So hopefully by the time Gambia goes through economic transformation, we should be able to accomplish our dreams for this purpose. And the lack of strong home-based carriers, we're still looking to the government to make sure that Gambia will have a home-based carrier. That's why I stopped my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, my good brother, Mr. Cham. Basically, you've given us a SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats to Gambia civil aviation. But one word, and one word, and one word, and one word only: an open sky treaty with Senegal. See, Gambia, we need to be realistic, and being realistic is expedient economically and financially. We have a problem of numbers, and that's the weakness of the Gambia by virtue of our size. Therefore, if you know the numbers and in favor of your predicament or your situation, you find out how best you can make the most out of your small size. The Jamaicans, they have a saying. They say, we lickle but we talawa. Yes, and it has worked for them. Small country, impactful country. So small can be good, it depends on how you package it. But first, let's start with having an open sky treaty with Senegal that will give Gambians a window to the world. As we speak, we don't have a window to the world. There's some people from the Ministry of Agriculture, they missed this opportunity to be here with us because of logistics arrangement, how to fly out. So, great initiative by your good institution, but small is also good as much as it's a disadvantage. Anyway, Mr. Jeng, will also wrap up the issue as it relates to the panel on air transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Dad. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Omar Diallo, senior officials from the Ministry of Agriculture, Chairman and CEO, Sahel Invest Management, Alhaji Abdullah Toure, President, American Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Ndeye Awasise, Treasurer, American Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Sir Job, Chairman and members of ADIARA, delegates from the Gambia.
Sorry guys, I'm going to stop for now.